So that's it, huh? That's exactly where we're going to be. Ohio State University. I believe it's Ohio State University. The police have put snipers on the roof of the university and aimed them at students. That's it. How much more of a sign would you have to actually have in order for you to get it that the system does not care about you, or that the system is not designed to even be about you? Like, I don't know what other than a gun pointed at your head has to tell you that. People literally just sitting down, protesting, sitting down, almost literally doing nothing. Okay, like, you understand that they're literally just sitting on a lawn, just sitting there, and you've got guns aimed at their heads. And angry about another country committing genocide. The United States has guns aimed at their own youth because their youth is angry at something another country is doing. Think about that. I don't know how awful of a person you'd have to be to still support Biden after this. You really have to be. You have to be either completely delusional or fully in support of a totalitarian system in order to justify that. Because if a gun pointed at your head for peacefully protesting isn't an absolute symbol, what is? I don't know how to put it any better. A philosophy chair gets arrested, thrown on the ground. An economics professor getting her head smashed against concrete. Like a street medic getting roughed up. God, like I don't know. Like this, it blows my mind. All of this. It's incredible. People getting tasered, automatic weapons pointed at teenagers, young adults who hadn't actually physically done anything. They just, in spirit, oppose something that another country is doing. Think about that. Biden and the rest of the U.S. government is brutalizing its population, its youth population, in order to protect another country's illegal actions. And this realization, I'm sure a lot of people do realize it, but the fact there's such a staggering amount of other people that don't realize it blows my mind. And to know that there's so many Americans that are cheering this on. Every single one of those right-wing pieces of shit that said Charlottesville was peaceful. Nazis who were literally going through the street chanting about killing Jews, and have people who show up to protest the cars running people down, committing murder. They call those peaceful protests. And fucking nothing happens to them. Except the guy who ran people down. He did get arrested. But nothing actually happens to Nazi rallies. What is it down there in Florida with those neo-Nazis, with organizations who do say, who do found themselves on genocide, can openly parade, and that worthless, dickless governor won't even denounce them. But if people want a genocide to stop, he's got an infinite amount of words to use to denounce them. Suddenly, everybody's got all the police powers in the world to do something about it. In Canada right now, they've got a right-wing group, which is actually listed as a terrorist group, protesting in Eastern Canada. And Pierre Poilievre, head of the Conservative Party, down there showing them support. And it's literally, the organization is listed as a terrorist organization, both in Canada and the US. A federal politician is hanging out with a terrorist organization that's being freely allowed to hold a protest. I can assume that if ISIS were here, they would be allowed to hold a protest. Right? I assume so, because they wouldn't be singled out for being Arab or anything. It's mind-boggling how utterly fucked American society is. And how much of the population is actually defending this. The people who have screamed 1776 will rise again, they won't take our freedoms, herder, we're the new founding fathers, we're the next American Revolution, and all that other stupid shit, are the ones cheering this on. Every single person cheering this on right now, you are the same piece of shit that stood by where children were getting yelled at as the army had to send them to school, had to escort them to school. You are the same piece of shit that defended to your final breath, or defended to the final breath of the apartheid regime in South Africa. And then all of a sudden, as soon as it was gone, you suddenly changed your position, decided that it was a horrible thing. You are the same fucking people that stood by while their neighbors disappeared in Nazi Germany in the middle of the night. And you know what the truth about that is? They didn't just stand by. Well, Jews were hauled away. How could they just stand there and do nothing? Because they were glad it was happening. They supported it. They were happy it was happening. They wanted those undesirables gone. And then later, when they found out about the Holocaust, it was, oh, how could this have happened? And decades later, everybody asked, how could everyone have just stood by while this happened? Why didn't anybody do anything? What we're seeing right now, that's how it happened. This is how it happened. Everyone who is standing by and defending the police on this, for beating up the population, for beating up the youth of a country, of their own country, for opposing the genocide of another country. That's what this is. For every bluster and every loudmouthed, arrogant, two-faced claim, oh, people just hate the police because they're criminals, blah, blah, blah. This is why they hate you. And this is why they're going to hate you even more. This is why you don't serve and protect the public. This is why you serve and protect the rich. You serve and protect the capitalist class and their interests. You tell me, how is it protecting the public by going in and beating the shit out of unarmed, peaceful youth protesters who are, which, by the way, is their constitutional right, which you swore an oath to the Constitution, remember? For what purpose? How did that save the public or protect the public interest in any way, shape, or form? It didn't. And you know it didn't. You're a fucking liar. You are straight up a goddamn liar, and you fucking know it. And every one of these right-wing media pieces of shit that are defending this know completely that everything you have ever said about defending freedom of speech on campuses is a lie. It was never about freedom of speech. It was freedom to censor anything the rich wanted. You're paymasters. Or even the shockingly large amount of liberals that are claimed to be progressive who are defending this right now. You've been exposed as frauds. And right now, this year, this is going to be the legacy of Biden's presidency. Not the Build Back Better, because we're still waiting on the Build Back part. We'll judge how good the Build Back part is when the building starts. But that's what Genocide Joe is going to be remembered for. Having the police beat the shit out of the youth for opposing a genocide, and him making sure that Israel got billions and billions and billions of dollars to carry out that genocide. Not one goddamn cent for anything the American people actually need. No, because then that would be wasteful public spending, according to the right wing. No, don't spend any money on the public because that's big government spending and hurt. But spend hundreds of billions of dollars enabling Israel to carry out a genocide. Which shows you what kind of dickless fucking cowards they are. What baby murdering monstrosities they really are. Yeah, let's not even get into the pro-lifers who want to save babies but are all lining up with Israel, just mass murdering them after they're born. If one of these protesters dies, if one of these kids is shot, Biden is finished. He might as well just hand over the fucking house keys to the White House to Trump. If it doesn't happen, I'm predicting a pretty low voter turnout this election. Yeah, people are complaining that there's no real choice. Well, guess what? There isn't. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.